Hey guys, it's Ian Miles here, your dating coach at Karma Lifestyles and author of best-selling books on dating and relationships. Now, in case you're not aware, I am doing an upcoming webinar on the tactics to connect with gorgeous women and become a master of conversation. And let me just say, many thanks goes out to all the guys that have and are still registering. I really appreciate and I value your support. And if you haven't registered yet, you have not missed out, okay? Simply click on that link, okay, in the video's description box right down below to guarantee your free spot. So I recently received an email from a guy, and I must say that I'm encouraged by the spirit of the personal growth that we have amongst us. So here is how it read. Hi Ian, my name is Martin. I really need your help. I'm tired of being that guy who is not effective at communication. Lack of communication skills has cost me valuable relationships for a couple of years now, and I have had enough of it. I need to trust myself enough to know that I will be able to maintain the interaction with meaningful conversations which I pursue when I'm with a woman. Now, this issue has led to so much doubt and second guessing in everything that I do, and that is just no way to live. Should I sign up for the upcoming webinar? Now, first off, thank you for reaching out, Martin. I am so proud of you, for being brave enough to face the hard truth and admit that you are struggling with communication. That is the first step towards changing things around, okay? Communication is undoubtedly in our webinar schedule. So yes, please do register and get the juice. Now, essentially, conversations ought to be fun. Which woman will put up with some boring talk of, for more than a few minutes? None, of course. Like, a personal interaction should be fun at every single level. And if it is not, it should not even be happening in the first place. It is pretty much the reason why most people worry too much about conversations, how to start and how to keep them going. So starting and maintaining dialogue is an art that many people lack. Why therefore is it considered difficult? I mean, it never was for our parents or for our grandparents before them. Most have traced this problem to, the growth of social media with its me and, broadcasting that focus on the individual. All hope is not lost though. Conversational skills can be developed as well as learned. So what are some of the rules that govern conversation? This way you will understand better why it is essential to learn conversation skills, especially in terms of dating. Rules that should govern conversation. Now, a conversation really is, like two-way traffic. So the first rule of conversation, okay, is always have in mind that, it is neither all about you, nor is it all about the other person. A monologue from either party is not a conversation, okay? Always look to strike a balance between talking and between listening. Being the man who, is trying to woo a woman, you are likely to fall victim to wanting to know more about the woman, hence asking, more questions about her. So to avoid making her feel like, she is in an interrogation room, try offering information about yourself on the same things that you are asking her. This is where social media makes life difficult, okay? We are used to broadcasting our views and opinions, after which we answer when others comment. Therefore, we are likely to fall victim to, doing the same when it comes to face-to-face conversations, which is wrong. Be friendly and polite. Now, as far as communication is concerned, being friendly, being kind and smiling will take you a very long way. And any woman will prefer to have a conversation, with a pleasant and a friendly man instead of a gloomy and a rude man, I mean, who even has the time for such people? If anything, she doesn't owe you her time or attention. She will therefore walk, okay? So some of the practical elements of being polite and friendly in conversation include establishing rapport. Now, establishing some common ground is the best way to build that rapport. Also, reinforcing positive body language, being jovial and friendly is another way to achieve this. Now remember that, you are present yourself, and it determines how easy it will be to build that rapport. Be nice. Now, avoid saying bad things about other people. I mean, for all you know, they could be known to your new crush, okay? Even if that wasn't the case, you do not need to talk ill of other people, even if you know that you're allowed to hold a different opinion. Also, look, it is not a good picture. You should at least wait until you are much more well acquainted with each other. Steer away from contentious topics. Now, once you know the other person a little bit better, you can freely engage with, controversial topics such as politics. However, look, when you are just getting to know each other, it is advisable to stick to more kind of neutral items and grounds. This is why many people result in small talk, as it allows you, to talk about general things. However dull the other person might turn out to be, always end the conversation politely, okay? You could say something like, kindly excuse me, or, I need to go, I must catch so-and-so before they leave. Or it was nice chatting with you, or I need to help so-and-so with something. Create emotional connections. While it is entirely possible to have a conversation at the small talk level where nothing important is said, communication also serves as an avenue to explore whether it is in your interest to get to know the other person better and build a relationship with them. Now, since it is your goal, after all, you should use your conversations to make those emotional connections where you see fit. It is, however, sharing and opening up the other person, okay? Sharing what makes you the person you are, your interests, your likes, dislikes, that inspires the other person to share too. Now that you have a clear picture of the ground rules that, should govern your conversations, here is why conversational learning skills are essential. Use signaling to help the other person. Now, a well-flowing conversation naturally moves from one person to the other. However, when one of the two of you is having difficulties with holding up the chat, it might be helpful to use signals to show the other party that, it is their turn to talk. So to do this, you might opt for either open-ended or closed questions, okay? Closed questions call for yes or no type answers. In a chat, this may come up in elements like, are you enjoying yourself, or don't you agree? So as you can see, the amount that they call for is, a nod to show that they agree. Open questions, on the other hand, they really open up the other person to conversation so that, they call the other party to really communicate. So to do this, you can go for questions such as why or how. Now, better communication strengthens respect, trust, and love levels. So learning to communicate with your partner or crush effectively really is crucial in enhancing that respect, that trust, and that honesty that you have for each other in your relationships. That is, you can always trust, your partner to do what they said that they would do, even if they take longer than you expected. Also, look, by being honest with your partner, you can really open up about, your strengths and your weaknesses with really no fear of, feeling vulnerable, which leads to trust, okay? In other words, communication really holds the final say to whether or not your relationship survives. Also, effectively communicating helps avoid any needless types of arguments. Communication sets morale in a relationship. Now, communicating effectively in a relationship only goes to show your partner or crush how happy you are within that relationship. So not opening up about a problem, you only hurt your relationship and the other person in general. It could be immediately, or it could even be in the long run, okay? You might not be the direct source of the problem, but speaking about it is hurting your, what you do not like doesn't really help that situation. Now, sometimes, therefore, the best thing is speaking up about precisely what is in your mind. Lack of communication leads to unwanted problems. Now, when you choose not to address an issue that is causing problems and strife, you only end up making matters worse. So the only way that you know what the other person wants is really by talking to each other and, making things clear. Otherwise, something could go wrong, without their knowledge, and vice versa. Good communicators have higher esteem. Now, it is widely known that extroverts are better communicators. Well, I do not think that even extroverts can really express themselves adequately. I mean, look, I do not believe that just because, someone has reservations that they cannot communicate. So the ability to communicate when needed, therefore, makes one appear friendly and be perceived by others positively, which really goes a long way in improving your self-esteem. Better communication leads to happy relationships. Now, the more there is a communication in a relationship, the higher the chance of its survival and the healthier it is. Now, remember that your crush or your partner is not an angel to know, what you want without you telling them. You have to let them know what you wish for them to do, or what you expect of them. Better communication leads to more assertiveness. So conversing is primarily about expressing yourself wholly about your feelings, your likes, your dislikes, and generally about what you want in the relationship. Manifesting your desires and your wishes healthily grows your assertiveness to unimaginably high levels. As a result, your yes always remains yes and your no remains no. You will be surprised as to how much this grows your respect in your relationship too. It doesn't get more evident than this, guys. So with this preview, it is pretty clear how important it is to have conversation skills as far as relationships and interactions are concerned. Therefore, they are skills that you should make a conscious effort to acquire for your self-betterment, your relationships, and your social interaction. So how about you register for my upcoming webinar to get that full dose of what conversation skills in dating entail? Below is the link, click on it, and you sign up for the webinar free of charge. And as I mentioned, only a few slots are remaining, so you must act fast. After the webinar, I will also have a live chat and a Q&A session where we will get to talk one-on-one. Now, I want to know what you think, or what questions you have about getting her to chase you too. Anyway, look, thanks guys for watching, and see you soon at the live webinar, and trust me, you will be glad that you were there.